Hello, Dan from Gear-Splaining is here, and today we're going to go into the Novation Circuit. I don't know why I was talking. Novation Circuit, it's in this case, this is the DDG case. Case is like 35 bucks and it will protect your circuit. I highly recommend getting the case. Anyway, I believe this is a wonderful device. It is the Swiss Army knife of my studio. I use it everywhere. I use it with my Octatrack when I'm preparing things for jams. I use it on my DAW. I use it on its own. I fly with it. I bring it with me places. It's one of my favorite pieces of gear ever, and we're going to go over that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to first, we're going to do a review of it. Why do I have sunglasses on? And later on I'm going to make a track with it, and I'm actually going to put it up on all these devices and jam with it. But for now, enjoy the review. Alright, today what we're going to do is we're going to review the Novation Circuit. This is an indispensable tool in my studio. I find that I use it all the time, no matter how I reconfigure my studio. It goes on plane rides with me. I take it places. It's the center of my tiny rig. It becomes a MIDI controller. It's driven my major rig for my streams. I find it incredibly useful. But for now, what we're going to do is we're just going to go over some of the basics, and we're going to do some stuff live. Alright, so check it out. What I have here, basic 4 on the floor. Sequencing couldn't be easier. Want to kick up the tempo a little bit? Go for it. Super easy to do. It displays it as a number right there. Alright, one thing we're going to do is on drum number 4, we're going to pick a bunch of different drums. We're going to play a little pattern. That took like what, 30 seconds to get something really cool going. By the way, all the samples that you see for all the drums, you can load those yourself. So if you have sample packs that you like, anything that you want to do, you can. You get 60 total seconds, so it's limited. One of the things you can't do with Novation Circuit, one of its constraints is loop playback, but that's fine. It does what it does it very well. So this is the sequence that I set up earlier. One of the 1.5 firmware updates is really cool. Did you hear what that did to just this note? Let me take everything else out. This is the mixer, by the way. You hit the mixer, you can change volume levels, and you can just pull stuff in and out. Alright, getting right back to it. What we're doing here is you have 6 gate steps per step. So if you hold this one down, I added 3 on there. You hear how it changed it again? Get glitchy with it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we here have the effects section. So what you can do is you can select the effect. It's a combination of reverb and delay. And then you can select where the effect goes out to, the timing. These are presets, but they're well selected and useful. And you can do cool stuff like, it does that speed up like a tape delay. And bottom drops out. Let's select a different preset. You can also automate how much of each effect you want. lighting up. It's kind of breathing along with the automation I just put in. That's a feature that you'll notice through and through. Okay, so now I have a pattern with the drum on it for drum 1 and 2 and drum 3 and 4. Now I can copy that pattern off, and every single session has 8 patterns per, right? You can set them up, you can copy them very easily, right? And then you can, just by holding them both down, now it'll cycle between the two. So if I want to run some variations in there, by the way, you can preview just by hitting it. That's a little bit much. I want to take it off of this one. There's also something here that's too much. This. I want that to be direct on it. I don't mind it stuttering. Not huge on it, actually. Alright, now let's chain the patterns up. Alright, later on I'm going to show you this track that I'm making on my live rig. And on my live rig, I have a Volca kick. So I'm actually going to use something else for the kick drum, but I'm going to do it a little bit later. For now, let's explore a little bit what you can do with each drum sound. We're going to focus in on this snare because it'll be pretty instructive. So this is sample length. It's cutting off the end. This is a pitch. Get like a piccolo thing going there. A bit of a distortion. Now on this, I'm going to put some effect on there, not a ton. I'm going to mix it low too, because it got louder with all that. That distortion kicked up the gain quite a bit. I obviously modified the kick drum. That's right here. Put some fold back on there. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to cycle between the two. just automated that change right there. I'm also going to change the distortion on it. Alright, so the idea behind this is a very deep instrument. That's just drums. We also have two synths, and these are based on the Mini Nova engine. It's a little bit different than the Mini Nova engine, and while you're on the actual unit, you're locked into the sounds that are preset and built up there, but you can edit them all yourself. The Isotonic editor has a full-blown suite where you can create your own patches as well as your own macros. These 8 knobs, anything can be mapped to them, multiple parameters for performance. Alright, so here's how you can play here. You can choose a scale, right? And so you can choose a key and a scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. I'm going to go with E, and let's go pentatonic. If I want to make the whole thing work, boom. Okay, but I don't like that sound, so let's start picking a new sound. Ooh, that's nice. So you can step sequence. I have it off on the mixer. And you have all these macros with which to work with. Always have just a filter knob right there. Can't adjust the resonance on it, but it does have a pitch. Does have a good amount of resonance. But you're not going to make this thing scream either. Alright, so this is the step sequencer. Haha, you can hear my dogs. Now, the thing is, now you can, once again, just like we did with the drums, we could do multiple patterns here. The idea behind the circuit on its own is to create material that which you perform with. You're not sequencing out an entire arrangement on here in order to create a track like you would in your DAW. Instead, what you're doing is you're just trying to build up raw material that you can use to jam with. And I'm going to show you how to jam in a little bit. In a future video, I'm going to actually put it onto my entire rig and show you how that works, as well as the circuit is the best friend an Octatrack ever had. And it's, like I said earlier, it's a wonderful controller. If you've worked with push, or you want to work with something like push, but really what you want is knobs to control, and you want to be able to take it down to just certain scales and perform that way, you can. Additionally, before we go on this video, we're going to take a quick look at just a few other things. This is that Synth 1 velocity is what we're looking at right now. You can change the velocity on every hit. Give it some variation. clean this a little bit too. I'm gonna find a pad. I'm gonna drop that on top of here as well, that way you can hear how it works, and then I'm gonna throw the side chain on. There's a side chain button. Alright. Like it. Now remember, circuit is polyphonic. You can do up to 4 notes a piece. Okay, so here's one thing. I need to make sure that I'm doing 2 patterns here, even though this pattern is blank, because I'm going to try to record this in, I'm just going to perform it in. It's going to auto-quantize it. You notice I performed this wrong. I performed it just slightly off. This first chord, it's a big chord. I have it on the wrong step, so it's coming in a moment late. So I duplicated it here, and I'm just going to turn everything off. I just pulled this automation right here. Alright, so we've made a basic jam. It's pretty cool. From here, you could certainly fill these all up with variations and just jam them if you wanted to. Additionally, you could hook it up into other synths and have this drive 2 other synths monophonically or polyphonically. And you can use this if you wanted to drive 2 other drum machines, or you could just use it as its own drum machine because it works super fast. The best thing about Circuit is how quickly you can get ideas up, and then how quickly you can start mutilating those ideas and finding new things that you didn't even expect. Alright, thanks for joining me on this one. I'll see you on the next one.